on the Smothers Brothers TV show.
Keep listening to iHeartRadio for more. From 1967, coming up.
Number one, your car radio preset and the new and improved iHeartRadio app. This is WFM Milwaukee, 97. This is Carry the G, a show about everything Packers.
Green Bay Packers, woo!
And other stuff we love.
Oh, we just like to have some beers and a little.
Now, please welcome the man who carries the 24/7 from Cheesehead TV, Aaron Nagler.
Carry the G Radio is back. 2 hours of uninterrupted, except when it's interrupted, talk about the Green Bay Packers with my good friends Bill Schmid, Armen Saryan, holding it down there in the Milwaukee Metroplex. How you boys doing this morning?
Phenomenal, Nags. Yes, uninterrupted until it's always interrupted by some of the longer commercial breaks in all of broadcasting. However, much like NFL Red Zone, even though the commercials are there, we're all still watching.
We're all still watching. We're all still hanging out. We're all still talking ball because that's what we do here at Carry the G Radio.
And we're still talking about a team, guys, that's the top seed in the NFC. I mean,
that's right.
Where would you rather be than right here, right now? All right.
That's a great point there, Armen. They are the top seed in the NFL. Although, I don't know if you saw, there was a Lions fan on Twitter yesterday. This is an all-timer. Said, I can't wait until the Packers have to play a legit team. So there's a Lions fan that said that.
What were you?
I don't know what week one was, but apparently wasn't a legit team. So
that's incredible. That to me, Nags, is the equivalent of the too small celebration. Now, basketball and football players will do that, which is the best way of undermining your own accomplishment. You're too small to cover me. Oh, so it wasn't really that cool.
It wasn't really a fair
over the top of him in the end zone. Yeah, way to go. Way to celebrate yourself. Way to celebrate your great team there in Detroit, Lions fans. Now they're enjoying their bye week. They had to watch the Packers get glazed on national television. That had to be a tough hate watch. Because they enjoyed early on the Bears falling in Baltimore, but not exactly the week off that I think Lions fans were hoping to have.
Yeah, I mean, they probably were like pretty happy in that first half on Sunday night.
Yes,
what's the meme? Fun. I'm not gonna lie, they had us in the first half. I mean, that was a rough outing there for those first two quarters. And I got to admit, I wasn't quite as frustrated as I was down the stretch of the first half of the Arizona game, but still pretty frustrating for a team that then you turn it around in the second half and you see how effective they can be. I understand the frustration coming off of that game where, look, this is the standard. This is what you could be, but on the regular. But it always seems to take, I don't know, a couple 2-tree drives of 3 and outs, figuring stuff out. Oh, that's right, we can't run the ball, so maybe we should use the pass to set up the run. And then they figure it out, and then they march up and down the field, and they score points. And it's like, wait, where is that coming out the gate?
Yeah, in Nags, I struggle because I think every game is so different. And even though we really like it to be a one-size-fits-all, and like, well, we ran the ball so well this week, why can we not do it that week? And they're bad on this spot, and everything ends up being, you can't play and win the game that you're in without feeling out the game. They're definitely a feel-it-out team at this point in time. Earlier in the year, they were, let's boat race you in the first half and then hold on for dear life. I've worn out already enough of the learning ways to win games and learning enough ways to win. Got
to learn how to win, Billy. Got to learn how to win. So I got
to find another way of saying it. I think the interesting part of it, Nags, is a lot of people love to talk about second half adjustments. And I don't know that there's anything you're adjusting in the second half. However, we did go to, when they were really, really good in the first half, Matt LaFleur, script merchant, right? Only able to script plays. That's the only way that you
can. And then it all falls apart after the script is over.
Once that's over. Yeah. So you've now seen, the coaching staff is learning also ultimately new ways to win games and how to develop and go forward. So other ways to be very, very optimistic and happy after this one.
There's also a reality of the fact that this is the reality of human competition too, a little bit. Not to get too existential and medical.
Reality of human competition. Let me put some more coffee on. Let's go. Come on, Armen.
the greatest teams in history did not have everything perfect go every game all the time.
Right.
The greatest Packers teams in history. We're talking about the Packers, which is the greatest franchise in NFL history, the most championships,
obviously,
the most successful franchise. Didn't even in their championship years have everything go perfectly in every game. And you had something this week on Twitter, I think, or Nags, or we had some sort of interaction of how enriching it is to go back and watch old games, to change your perspective on what you see. History can sanitize a lot of things. I mean, we think about the
memory itself, right, can give you a certain picture in your head, but you do forget the details.
Even our championship teams, which they accomplished the goal that we're aspiring to always as Packer fans.
Yep.
Obviously 2010, they were 10-6. They had a lot of early struggles and bad moments and early losses that year, right, in games.
Yes.
What about
two overtime games in that
overtime
season,
games. One of the most revered teams ever, the 96 Packers. You go back and watch some old games. You're tied at halftime with the Bears. It wasn't like
struggling in St. Louis against the Rams.
Right,
to me, that's the fulcrum of that entire season for me.
Yes, it wasn't puppy dogs and ice cream all the way through. That's just not reality.
To your point, you get to the end of the season, and now throughout history, referencing that team. Oh, number one offense, number one defense, had an awesome return unit on special teams. Desmond Howard ends up the MVP. So to your point, you in your memory think, oh, they just boat raced everybody. They just walked up and down the field, which they did early in the season. But then adversity strikes. You have to adjust. And the Packers did in that season. And now hopefully that's what they're going to be doing throughout this season. Totally with you on that one.
And then you also, in that adversity, Nags, you get another one of the great cliches and classics that come from football. The team comes together and you rally around unsung heroes, different guys that you didn't realize were going to be big parts of the team. And then you get to welcome guys back. And I thought welcoming back a true leader of their team.
Yes.
And one guy that we are learning more and more about, because as much as we do believe we know everything and anything about the Green Bay Packers, because they give us this press credential, which only means that you can sit in the library and watch the game. And you get to talk and hear different stories and tell stories. The one story that is now being told very, very well, I think, by players on the team and the folks in the locker room week in and week out is the impact that Christian Watson has on not only the rest of the locker room, but especially that wide receiving core that, Nags, if I would have told you Savion Williams scores a touchdown before Matthew Golden before the season, what would you have called me?
Optimistic, maybe a member of Williams' family. I don't know. Yeah,
both of which would have sufficed. But with a leader like Watson back into the building, it's going to be harder for more opportunities. But you have somebody that's gone up and down, especially as a rookie, be able to add in some context and talk to a young man like that. I think the return of Watson was one of the biggest parts of this 35-25 victory in Pittsburgh.
Couldn't agree more, especially when you consider not just his output on the field, like you're talking about, the locker room effect. And I got to think, to your point, Matthew Golden is probably a little frustrated. I know as a Matthew Golden fantasy owner, I myself am a little frustrated because now, I can't put him out of the lineup because the week I do, he's going to go off. He's going to have his, coming out.
2 TDs for sure happening.
Yeah, 1,000,000,000%. So I get it. He probably is frustrated, but Watson is a perfect example of a guy who does it the right way and can hopefully take the young man under his wing. Look no further than last year. That first stretch, I think, 4 games or so, he's barely targeted. And all he's doing is blocking his ass off, playing hard, down in and down out. Like that is the model, right? And it definitely shows up not just in, okay, you're going to get your opportunities, but because you play hard, we're going to put you on the field with regularity because we know you're going to take out that corner on that perimeter run and Jacobs or Wilson's going to have room to operate because you're doing your 111th.
Being able to crack back and get Jacobs to the outside on the touchdown run is one of the best blocks that you're going to watch a wide receiver make. And he physically comes in and dominates a cat. Like being able to do that, one, has to be a lot of fun. And to not have been able to do it for almost 300 days and been just itching to be able to get back, felt a lot of personal satisfaction for Watson on that block in particular. The catches are great, right? Being able to make plays, that's always going to be fun. That's what you get paid for. But just be able to, again, no pause, put your hands on somebody and shove somebody out of the way. As a football player, that's what you end up missing the most. It's the only time that you can physically manhandle somebody and not be arrested.
You're not going to get arrested for it, no doubt. And look, talking about Watson, can we just pause for a second? And appreciate the fact that he's back out on the field after suffering an injury in January of this year.
Yeah, this year.
Brandon Ayuk tore his ACL, October of last year, and is still not back out on the field. That's crazy. It's just nuts to think about everything Watson has done to get to this point and back out there and contributing after suffering an ACL injury in January. What? That's crazy.
And to see the Packers reward a guy for that, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it had a lot 100%. To do with, I'm sure, that extra year, the contract and all that stuff. And maybe that, in the back of my mind, I thought about the old gripe our old friend Aaron Rodgers had with the way they treat players and the relationships. And maybe that's part of it. Is that the evolution of that, or is it not?
That's the Packers getting all in their feels and being more respectful of their players because Aaron Rodgers complained about it publicly? Is that what you're intimating?
I just don't know what I am intimating, but I wonder.
I like that you are, though.
Or if it's just a matter of, it's very simple. You showed us you worked and you earned it, and you helped the franchise by doing that. You're going to help yourself by doing that, and you're going to be rewarded for it.
I think it has a lot more to do with his upside and the fact that they know what he means to their offense when he's out there. You saw it again on Sunday night. And it has been, quantified to a point where, they score almost not quite a touchdown more per game when he's out there. But the offense is absolutely, I want to say, exponentially more lethal when he's on the grass. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't matter if he's being targeted or not. He is drawing attention. Teams have to play them a certain way. It is just night and day. So they give him that year extension knowing that, okay, if you can come back this season here in 2025 and keep doing what you did on Sunday night and continue to build on what you've done in this offense, the possibility is there for a long-term deal. Probably a good chance that it happens this offseason if he, balls out back half of the season.
Yeah. I don't know if it has to be since it's a 1-year deal, it might not have to be the full 365 days from when he signs the one before as to when you can sign it. But you're right, Nags. They'll start talking if he plays well earlier on and set it up, and it might be right there on the first day they're allowed to. They announce something. And Armen, I don't think you're completely wrong because there's the thought of well, you don't do business just to make people feel good. However, there is a way you do business. And I think I talked about it a number of years ago when Aaron Jones was up for his contract in 2019. It's or after the 2019 season, it's all right, if you're not going to pay this guy, everybody looks around in the locker room and says, hold on, this is one of the pillars of the team, one of the best producers, one of the nicest guys. If he's not going to get paid, I sure as hell am not getting paid. Right. So there's a time of where you do business and you try to inspire some hope and confidence, but that's not why Christian Watson gets the money, is to make everybody happy and get puppy dogs and ice cream. No. But there's a thought to, listen, he's a stalwart and he's one of the right guys in the building. You do have to reward people.
He's a core player. Yes.
Yeah. And you've seen more teams, especially like the best teams in football, Philadelphia Eagles, I point to a lot. They reward their best players and the people that are really, really important in their locker room maybe a tick earlier than other teams would. So it's not that he wouldn't have gotten the money, but I do think there's now, especially in modern day sports, where you want to reward a tick earlier than in the past where you would take it all the way to the last second and then give the money, because feelings matter. And I think you learned some of that, Nags, maybe not from the Rodgers deal, but maybe from the Devontae Adams negotiation would be the one that maybe.
Yeah, the Adams one was tricky, no doubt. I mean, people forget the DeAndre Hopkins deal absolutely blowing up those talks, because Hopkins got an insane deal with Arizona, which, they had been talking to Devontae, and then that happened, and it just completely destroyed the entire kind of structure of what wide receivers were getting. And at that point, it was over. Like they weren't going to come to an agreement after that.
But again, that's where you do it earlier, and right when they come to you, those things don't happen, and changes the conversation a lot.
No doubt. And you saw that kind of play out with pass rushers this offseason, right? I mean, think about Max Crosby signing his deal when he did. The Cowboys dragged their feet on Micah, and now he's a Green Bay Packer, Totally. And the Packers were more than happy to pay the man, which, speaking of Micah Parsons, man, good Lord. Can we just the way the position versatility on Sunday night, the way they had him standing up on some of these third downs and essentially just, working through the wash like a guy running a route almost, faking dudes out. The guard's going one way, the center thinks he's going the other way, and he's just going right through the A gap and getting in Rodgers' face. Just, again, it happens every week, but you see his effect. Even when he's not getting a sack, the quarterback has to avoid his pressure, and he's going, up in the pocket into the loving arms of Rashawn Gary. He's worth every freaking penny.
Yeah, the chef, as we like to call Jeff Hafley, is using his very versatile ingredient. Is that is a good way to say it? Yeah.
Are you going to start spicing some of that into the award-winning chili?
I think, if I had an ingredient like Micah, that would probably I'd never lose.
Well, it definitely helps your defense look even better, right? I think they're a good defense. They can be a great one when that's a part of it. Also, the standing up is a little bit more reminiscent of what he did as a rookie, which I think really was what burst him onto the scene, was his ability to stand up. And you'd have to talk to a quarterback. Maybe Kurt Benkert could speak to it a little bit better than I. But when we talk about the blindside rush, or the rush that's right in your face off the right side, there's something to seeing the scariest player on that opponent defense, Nags, right over the damn center and having to stare right into his eyes. I think that's an intimidation factor that I, for one, like even more and would like to see as much as possible on third downs.
Well, and the fact that they could get into advantageous down and distances, especially those third downs where Steelers needed to pick up chunks, and the big fear coming into that game was that Rodgers was going to kind of paper cut them to death, like we had seen with with Dak Prescott a couple weeks ago, right? And they tried some of that, but I thought the Packers did a pretty damn good job of limiting the damage in that regard. Like, they kept getting them into kind of 3rd and 9, 3rd and 8, which isn't insurmountable, but it's all you need with this front. Like, that's the difference between, constantly living in 3rd and 2, where you can gin up a bubble screen or something easy for your quarterback just to get the ball out of his hands as quickly as possible, convert, and you're carrying on, to, now it's 3rd and 9, 8, 9, 10. Well, he's got to hold the ball a tick longer, unless which he did. He ended up doing this a lot on Sunday night, hitting the check down, hitting the guy underneath, because that's all he has time for. The rush really worked well, but at the same time, you got to give credit to the back end. I know Keyshawn Nixon had a bad game, right? Like, no question about it. But he is still part of the crew that kept a lid on a lot of these 3rd and longs that enabled the rush to affect the quarterback. So to me, that was the biggest story as far as what I was really worried about coming into the game never really materialized, because they did such a great job of marrying rush with coverage.
Yeah, in Nags, the Keyshawn, I'm glad you mentioned Keyshawn's name, because I do think we need to get this out into the world. Is Keyshawn Nixon Darrell Revis? No. All right. So I do think we need to stop expecting Champ Bailey-esque performances by Keyshawn.
I like how you almost leaned into a New York accent there, because you were talking about Revis. So I do think we need to,
I was very close to going on LaGreca and saying, for goodness gracious, just be happy with good play and a pass breakup for here and there. At some point, celebrate the good play that does happen, and don't just be mad that, oh my God, DK Metcalf got a 6-yard slant on him.
Yeah.
Son of a gun. This can't happen.
The slant touchdown, like, that is going to happen. I have zero problem with that. 100%. But I understand frustrations around multiple infractions on 3rd downs, which elongate drives.
Yeah.
Like that. I get people being upset and frustrated at that.
I get it. But it's an imperfect game. And like, I really struggle to, let's hold the guy to a all-pro Hall of Fame level caliber play when he's the best player at that spot that you have. So you are going to have to, at some point, live with the circumstance that it is. Now, I get that we always want to be better and we want to strive for greatness, and we're going to push for it.
There you go.
There's what
I just that people confirming priors, because all offseason everybody talked, the corners are terrible and their corners are awful. This is the worst cornerback group in the league. So anytime they give up anything, I told you, this is a terrible corner group. Yeah. Never mind what I just talked about as far as rush married with coverage. Never mind all the really good work they've done. Like, it's, you give up a couple plays and I told you, because there's like this weird kind of thing in people's brains sometimes where they want to be right more than root for their favorite team. Yeah, that is wild to me.
Mm-hmm.
Well, someone did tell me that you're making these guys look like Ahmad Carroll as a Hall of Famer. I said, all right. If we're starting to throw Ahmad Carroll, they did not remember how bad Ahmad Carroll looked.
Wow.
Okay.
Get the boxing gloves out, baby. Come on now.
It's the reality of it. I cheered for all my guys.
Yeah, somebody throws Quentin Rollins in there like, hey, do we want to check that tape and actually see how bad it was?
Or like Devon House version 2.
Quentin Rollins, what a pull. Holy cow, man. They can't hurt us anymore, guys. They can't hurt us anymore.
Armen. That's a great point.
But there is an aspect of this is also, and I brought this up with you earlier this week, Billy, this is also a league that completes a lot of passes now, right? It's just the way it is.
Yes.
It's really hard just to defend against completions all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Those things will happen on your cornerbacks. No one's sitting there. That doesn't mean we don't want to win the Super Bowl.
No.
Some of us.
Oh, you're settling for mediocrity. That's always my favorite. That's my favorite.
Some of us actually want to win, but it is the reality of it. Now, so how can we get better? I thought getting Carrington Valentine a lot of more snaps was a good step. Here
is what I loved about Valentine's game. Was it perfect? No. Were there moments he'd probably look at the tape and go, yikes? Sure. But, and I think you heard Matt talk about this on Monday, he competed on every down. He went after the football. He was in guys' grill. He did not back down. And that secondary desperately needs more of that. Because, as we talked about earlier, and Micah said it when he arrived, ball's got to come out.
Mm-hmm.
You know they have to throw the ball quick. Attack the ball. Get after make a play on the ball. And that's what Valentine continued to do down in and down out. They need more of that across the board because they're going to get opportunities. They just make plays on the ball and good things will happen. But
they're also going to get got. And that's
part of the gig.
Yeah, it's just the toughest part of it, Nags, and you're right with the priors, but they're trying to slow down upwards of $80 to $90 million combinations on the other side. You are going to get got. So we are going to have to be saying, oh my God, he had 5 receptions against. Well, that's just not.
Why do they have that voice? I love it.
That's just not going to be good enough.
However,
when we see 145 passer rating against Nate Hobbs, we're going to have to.
We're going to have to make a switch.
Luckily, we did make a change.
I'll say I was a bit surprised at the quick switch there. I mean,
I was very wrong. Yeah.
Matt was asked about it last week, and he said, well, we're going to, he's going to play better and blah, blah, blah. And I thought, that's kind of their way. They've kind of let guys work through problems and whatever. Nope. This is Nate Hobbs. Welcome to 3 snaps for this game.
Do you think Nate Hobbs maybe didn't help himself with not maybe listening to the head coach's warnings during the preseason of
when
slow the bleep down and
maybe don't try and injure your own players and literally the next practice comes out there and lays the wood? Yeah, maybe.
You could have potentially bought yourself a little bit more leash.
Little grace, possibly.
I don't know. Do that now.
Yeah, now. Where is it now?
That's what we want. Do it now.
Yeah, I will say, there have been very few and far between, but there have been a few moments like that from Hobbs.
Yeah.
It's just,
mostly
you remember him getting burned. So,
he's got a tackle out there, yeah.
You just need to tighten it up a little bit. That's all that needs to happen. We're going to tighten up the next segment after this break of listening to a bunch of stuff that, you may or may not be interested in. But I know you're going to be interested in hearing us talk about the Steelers game. And, of course, big 33 or whatever it is, throwback uniforms that they're wearing next week against the Carolina Panthers. I know Armen's excited. We'll be talking about that and all sorts of green and gold nonsense on the flip side. For Armen, Billy, it's Aaron Nagler on Carry the G Radio.
Want to watch No BS?
We'll do anything it takes.
They're live on YouTube, Facebook, and X right now.
We have a place for it.
Just search 97.3 The Game.
iHeartRadio goes one-on-one with Elton John to reflect on a day in the life of writing and producing the Goodbye Yellow Brick Road album in France.
We all stayed at the Shadow in bedrooms, along with my producer, Gus Dudgeon, and Bernie, who wrote the lyrics. And I used to get up, and same time as Bernie, I went down to breakfast. Bernie would be typing, Bernie typing, not Bernie talking. And he would give me a lyric. And I would have my breakfast, and I would have a croissant and wander over to the electric piano. We had our instruments set up around the breakfast table. A guitar amp, a bass amp, and a drum kit, and the electric piano, and a mic. And I would sit down and write a song to those lyrics. Hence, then, could I wake the band up, because I'd be playing and singing. And they'd come down and having their breakfast, or even before they started, they would join in. And we would write the song straight away. After we'd finished, we'd go straight over to the other side. Maybe we write two, but mostly one. Start the day off with a song, and go off to the other side of the courtyard to the studio and record the song, and then write in the studio.
Keep listening to iHeartRadio for more Elton John and all your favorite artists.
iHeartRadio.
Here are the top Aretha Franklin songs that you've thumbed up.
Number 3.
You Make Me Feel Like a Natural Woman.
Number 2.
Freeway of Love.
Number 1.
Respect. Hear more from Aretha Franklin and similar artists now.
Search for Aretha Franklin on iHeartRadio.
All your favorite music,
All your favorite stations.
all free.
iHeartRadio.
Here are the top Foreigner songs that you've thumbed up.
Number 3.
Hot Blooded.
I show you loving like you never knew. That's why I'm hot-blooded. Check it and see. Feel the fever burning inside of me. Come on, baby, do more than dance.
Number 2.
I Want to Know What Love Is.
Change this lonely life. I want to know what love is. I want you to show me.
Number 1.
Cold as Ice.
You're as cold as ice. You're willing to sacrifice our love.
Hear more from Foreigner and similar artists now.
Search for Foreigner on iHeartRadio.
All your favorite music,
All your favorite stations.
all free.
iHeartRadio goes one-on-one with Elton John to talk about performing live.
Going on stage was when I could show off and be comfortable. And I was always a bit timid off stage. And the stage gave me an outlet. And you'll find that with many performers, whether they be dancers, actors, singers, musicians. They have the outlet on stage to become the person they're not off stage. And I think that's what eventually led to my troubles, along with the drugs and the drink, is that the person who was fast becoming popular as Elton John and becoming, the number one rock star in the world, had kind of escaped from the person off stage, and the balance was completely off kilter. And the more I became successful, the harder I worked, and the less time I concentrated on being normal or trying to be kind of normal. But people who knew me privately were shocked, I think, at what I was doing off stage. Rather, they knew what I was going to do on stage, but off stage they were shocked and disappointed.
Keep listening to iHeartRadio for more Elton John and all your favorite artists.
For money-saving tips that can help put your financial house in order and avoid future financial headaches, call the National Foundation for Credit Counseling today, 1-800-388-2227, or visit them at nfcc.org, a public service from the NFCC.
Carry the G Radio rolling on here Tuesday morning with Billy Armen, Aaron Nagler here coming to you live from New York City. Carry the G Radio brought to you by ThedaCare. They say defense wins championships. In life, ThedaCare is your first line of defense against illness and injury. Stay strong, stay healthy, stay in the game. Proud sponsor of Carry the G Radio, ThedaCare. Which, of course, leads me to the ThedaCare heart-stopping play of the week, which, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, how is it anything other than the pop fly ball to Tucker Kraft on third down? I got to say, when that ball was in the air, boys, I had visions of a Steelers pick six running through my mind. I on our watch party, you can hear me. My voice just dies. And then, miraculously, Tucker catches it and trucks two fools on the way to a 50-plus yard gain. I mean, talk about a heart-stopping play. I think that qualifies.
Yeah, that would quantify and qualify as it. I also think that there's something to watching the turning point of the game that it ended up being, because you come out of the locker room, you're down 2 scores, and you desperately need to stop. You haven't been slowing much of the run game at all. Then I think you gave up 12 rushing yards in the second half. Luckily, your offense was a big part of it. But, like, damn. All right, we needed a gift, and they needed to not call an offsides. Right. That was clearly an offsides for us to get the ball back. Then we're just going to go out like a light and go 3 and out here quickly and gain 5 yards. So that was a massive moment to then, 5 plays later, you're into the end zone. But from not only a game-changing turning point play, could be one that you look back on, Nags, depending on how the season goes, as, man, down 2 scores in Pittsburgh into the second half. And if it's not for a pop fly ball that Armen said looked like a duck.
It looked like a duck. It quacked like a duck, but we had a better duck hunter.
We had a big buck and duck hunter who was going to truck you into the end zone because he doesn't give up.
And that's where good one.
Thank you.
Well done. And that's where sometimes you like this term, Billy. This is like a dad coaching term. Sometimes it's not about the X's and O's. Sometimes it's about the Jimmies and Joes or the Tuckers, because he was the most important thing of that play was him out toughing, out muscling, out playing everybody else there, because that was up for grabs. There's no doubt about it. He just was able to grab it, and thankfully so.
I do love on the play, people talking about Love and the decision there. I think the decision is right. Like, he's got a one-on-one. It's a all-out pressure from Pittsburgh. He knows he's got a one-on-one. He's trying to put the ball or trying to get the ball to a guy to make a play, right? He should have an opportunity. But for whatever reason, I don't know why he double clutches there, but because of it, he's getting hit as he lets it go. And I think obviously that's what makes it the pop-up it became. But again, Tucker just makes the play, man. What an outstanding job from, let's say it, one of, if not the best tight end in the game today. I don't know what part of his game you can poke a hole in to try and bring him down, because right now he is doing it all, and he's doing it at an insanely high level.
Yeah, he's definitely in the all-pro conversation. And when you look at the rest of the NFC, George misses time, I think, from namesake, and understandably so, from just attitude and what he does in the film room during the week. You have to account for George Kittle. So he will still be near the top, but the production in 2025 will change. Tucker's going to get into that stratosphere, and that's the next part of it, Nags. It's like now you have the production. I think he's the number 1 fantasy tight end in all of football. Right. Makes sense with the kind of yards after the catch that he's racking
Big
up.
Time, no doubt.
But the respect in game planning for him is the next step, and it's not going to take very long because of how frequently he is the number 1 option on every third down attempt.
Oh, absolutely. And what I love is that there are times when he's just, Love is getting him the ball, even when the play is not designed for him. His first touchdown is a called run play. They just have a run solution on, and Love's like, oh, that looks wide open. So he just takes it, right? And, of course, you've got the great blocking on the perimeter. Well, you're talking about Christian Watson earlier. Great work on that play in particular. So it's even when it's not designed for him, even when it's just, this is a kind of something that looks good in the scheme as far as what's presented, pre-snap, etc. I'll just take that. Man, he's still producing. He's still trucking fools. He's still getting into the end zone. There's only so much a defense can do when the Packers have done such a good job of kind of spreading the ball around. You never really know which guy is going to hurt you when. And I know that has been somewhat of a source of consternation among the fan base. But I think it's a very good thing. And I think it helps the offense, and it helps Tucker Kraft.
And if you become a player that great, it gets hard for a defense to really take you out of the game because you see a situation like last night's a great example. The connection that Mahomes and Kelsey have now created over time and have cultivated over the years to become sort of that, ESP second nature, doesn't have to be scripted kind of connection. If Jordan and Tucker can create that type of connection where he knows what he wants to do and it's always that ace in the back pocket, when it plays off script and tangible, he can become that much more valuable to the offense because you don't know how to defend him then, right?
Absolutely.
So hopefully that's the next stage of his development. Right now it's going great. He's becoming that guy. Hopefully that's the next stage of Tucker's development is just to be the guy that's on the same page so much with Jordan to be a threat at any time off schedule, which is when a lot of those things happen, as you guys know in football, is off schedule when things break down.
No doubt. It's never as you draw it up on the whiteboard. And, man, talk about off schedule. How about that play from Jordan Love rolling out to his right, throwing across his body just over the outstretched fingertips of the defensive back for the Steelers, landing in Watson's lap? I mean, that is an absurd play. And it's so funny that he makes plays like that. And, yeah, my heart does, get up in my throat a little bit. But that's why you go out to the ballpark. And that's what I love about him, because he can be a surgical assassin, as you saw, with 20 straight completions, but at the same time, he can be a gunslinger. I thought he did a great job of taking calculated risks in this game, and that's, again, the nature of his game that I absolutely love.
Yeah, and that part of it is why you can't trust him. You just can't trust that kind of reckless nature.
Yeah,
but you can know that at any given time, Nags, he is still trying to take the top off of the defense.
Oh yeah.
Every time he hits the back of the 5-step drop, you see those eyes big and downfield. My man
touchdown
is
to check down, baby. Touchdown to check down.
Downfield. And that's the way you have to play ball in 2025, where you're going to get limited how many times you're going to be able to throw it deep down the field. Yep. So you always have to be eyeing it up and trying to get it. And especially when, listen, your ground game has not hit the stride that it did in the back half of the year last year, but physically, and we talked about it with Wayne Larrivee yesterday, and Larry McCarron, listen, you want to talk about somebody that knows this team inside and out, when they're rolling, when they're not, when they need a little kick in the ass.
Yep.
Larry McCarron is there. Now, Armen, you hear most of it during the breaks. We only get to hear it during the call on Sunday and now on 95.7 Big FM. But like when you hear Larry at the end of the first half, going into the second half, saying, Wayne, I'm just going to say it. They're just winning the line of scrimmage. He's like, they're just winning. That's all it is. There's nothing to it. There's nothing scientific about it. They're just winning. And then quickly that pacing and that physicality changes. They need to be a little bit more physically imposing, but they showed it into the second half. And I thought that was, sure, they ran for what, 3.4 yards a carry, 3.6 a tote.
Under 4. It was under 4.
That's not gonna be enough, but you saw into the second half they were able to move guys. And I wonder if there's something to them. We talked about it feeling out into the game in the first segment, Nags. That's going to be a part of their run game, is they're feeling out how they run the football, because this is only the second game that they've had the real complement of offensive linemen that they want in the football game.
Yeah. How about your boy Sean Ryan getting some run in this game? I mean, talk about a real competition at right guard. That was interesting. And I thought both of those guys played pretty darn well, but it was interesting to see a real kind of return to the rotation at guard there. That there wasn't a guy who I thought was noticeably or obviously better, but the Packers remain true to their word. They're going to have competition, and they certainly seem to be fostering it there. I got a question for you, Billy, because you're talking about the run game and how they haven't been very effective, right? And I remember being, a young buck watching the Packers on the come up with Mike Holmgren and company there with, Edgar Bennett and Dorsey Levens. And I remember them not being able to run the ball particularly well for stretches. And Mike always kind of responded with, obviously classic West Coast stuff, lots of quick rhythm passing, quick game, screens, things of that nature, just to continue to get the ball in your back's hands. But, maybe not button your head against a wall, which is what it feels like the Packers are kind of doing. And I do wonder if there comes a moment, and now look, there's still a lot of football left to be played. to your point earlier, they did kind of figure it out and get it going on the ground later in the season last year. Maybe that occurs again. But I do wonder if there's a moment where LaFleur kind of looks at his team and particularly looks at his offensive line and goes, look, I know the idea, moving Jenkins, adding Banks, we were going to road grade people, we were going to run over folks, and we were going to create all this movement, to use your term, for Josh Jacobs, because Jacobs was doing so much work getting hit at or even behind the line of scrimmage last year. We want it to be easier for our back. We want to lean into this running game. Obviously, none of that has occurred. And I do wonder if there comes a moment, maybe soon, where LaFleur makes a slight, and I'm not talking a huge adjustment, but a slight adjustment to, again, going into these first halves and these issues, maybe we start using the quick game as an extension of our running game out of the gate, like in the first couple drives, just to loosen things up, i.e. using the pass to set up the run rather than the other way around, because right now it hasn't been very effective.
Yeah, and there's something too, and people do not like this statement that I'm going to make. There's something that you have to try to win the game that you're playing here, and there's also you have to look for the betterment of the entire 2025 season. When Mike was able to make those decisions, we can have more of this conversation because I hear Armen playing the music. I know we got to go.
Yeah, we got to go.
There's a development part of this.
Yep.
There is a team building part of this.
Very true.
And there is when Mike Holmgren was able to make that determination and change up some of the flow and rhythm, he had seen 100 hours of play that offensive line had put together and been together for on the practice field, onto the game field. Now it is so different that I don't know that if this offensive line experiment hasn't worked, just because, as you said, it hasn't been what you wanted so far. And I would push back a little bit on that. It hasn't gotten going at all. They have run for 7 touchdowns in the last 4 games, right? Like, so
no doubt.
As much as they're,
but it's also because Josh Jacobs can do wondrous things even when the blocking is bad.
Yeah, but you got to call the run play. Right?
I know.
Like, so, as much as I get it, like you can't. But there's also one where he's standing up after 14 yards and there's 3 guys pushing him over. So like you run the ball, and the commitment to it is more important than, as much as you want to get your 4 yards and keep rolling. Teams have to believe that you're going to run the football, and I think that's the most impressive thing that LaFleur has done. Is they're still averaging almost 30 attempts a game. That's important to do.
I don't doubt it. The physical nature of the game is important, and I'm sure the guys on the line would appreciate that stance. Talking to a former offensive lineman and an offensive line coach, so I understand where this reaction is going to come from. But we will discuss that and more, and I want to get into the defensive side of the ball and how they kept the Packers in the game on Sunday night, because that could have been a disaster in the first half, but it wasn't. We'll talk about that. We'll talk about this game, this matchup with the Panthers on Sunday. Everything green and gold on the flip side. That's Billy, Armen. I'm Aaron on Carry the G Radio.
All she wants to do is dance. Yeah, but that don't keep the boys from making $1 or $2.
iHeartRadio. Here are the top Eagles songs that you thumbed up. Number 3, Life in the Fast Lane.
He was too tired to make it. She was too tired to fight about it. Life in the fast lane surely make you lose your mind. Life in the fast lane. Life in the fast lane. Everything all the time.
Number 2, Take It Easy.
Take it easy. Take it easy. Don't let the sound of your own wheels make you crazy. Come on, baby. Don't say nay.
Number 1, Hotel California.
There were voices down the corridor. I thought I heard them say, welcome to the Hotel California. Such a lovely place, such a lovely place, such a lovely place.
Hear more from the Eagles and similar artists now. Search for the Eagles on iHeartRadio. All your favorite music, all your favorite stations, all free.
iHeartRadio. Here are the top John Mellencamp songs that you've thumbed up.
Number 3.
Hurt So Good.
Hurt so good. Come on, baby, make it hurt so good. Sometimes love don't feel like it should, baby. Hurt so good.
Number 2.
Small Town.
No, I cannot forget from where it is that I come from. I cannot forget the people who love me. Yeah, I can be myself here in this small town. And people let me be just what I want to be.
Number 1.
Jack and Diane.
Oh yeah, life goes on long after the thrill of living is gone. To walk on.
Hear more from John Mellencamp and similar artists now.
Search for John Mellencamp on iHeartRadio.
All your favorite music,
All your favorite stations.
all free.
Hi, I'm Mike Yam with NFL Network Now on the Westwood One Radio Network. Week 8 of the NFL season came to a close Monday night in Kansas City. The Chiefs dominating the Commanders 28-7. Patrick Mahomes, he threw for 299 yards, 3 touchdowns, 2 interceptions in that win. Washington wide receiver Terry McLaurin left the game in the fourth quarter, did not return after re-aggravating a quad injury that kept him out the previous 4 games. Elsewhere, the Vikings placed quarterback Carson Wentz on the injured reserve. He's set to have surgery on his left shoulder. He'll miss the rest of the season. Giants rookie running back Cam Skadadoo had successful surgery on that dislocated ankle he suffered in Philadelphia on Sunday. He's expected to begin rehab immediately. And Bills defensive tackle Ed Oliver suffered a torn bicep against the Panthers on Sunday. He's going to have surgery. He is also out indefinitely. Not good news as the Bills will match up against Kansas City this week. This has been NFL Network Now on the Westwood One Radio Network.
1 in 4 Americans have a disability. I'm one of them. I'm also a working mom who cares deeply about making sure every child with a disability thrives by getting their access needs met. We've got a trusted ally by our side. Easter Seals provides children and families the foundation for lifelong success through early learning programs, skills training, and prep for college and career. That's my Easter Seals. Make it yours. Join us at easterseals.com.
Now that I'm a dad, I can't stop thinking about what would happen to my kids if something happened to me, like losing the house or not affording college.
Yeah, that used to keep me up at night too. It's why I finally got life insurance from Ethos. It's 100% online. No medical exams, just a few health questions. I got $2 million in coverage for around $2 a day.
I never realized it was that simple. Get your free quote at ethos.com/game. That's ethos.com/game.
Rates may vary. Bill monthly. Sample rate 10-year term life policy for a 35-year-old healthy non-smoking male.
Karen G. Radio rolling on here on a Tuesday morning. It's certainly urgent. It's urgent. We need to talk about the Packers urgently with Billy, Armen, Aaron Nagler here. You know, it's one of the great joys of my life that the internet allows us to hang out each and every week and talk Packers with yourselves and, of course, people all across the globe checking in on the Cheesehead TV YouTube chat, including one Mike Witt, who is here every week. Every week, Mike throwing
Mike's
down super chats. Love it. Mike's got a couple here. First up, howdy, guys. It won't be talked about like other guys' performances, but I think Enigbari had a very solid game in Pittsburgh. Thoughts? I got so many thoughts. This cat is playing really well, and really hope we appreciate what he's doing in the green and gold uniform, because I got to think certainly this offseason he's going to go to greener pastures and probably sign a free agent deal somewhere else. And that's if he doesn't get traded at the deadline, which I also think is a possibility. I'm not saying that's going to happen. I'm reporting anything. I don't know nothing. But if you are a edge needy team, you're looking at guys going, on the last year of their deal, playing at a high level. I think you're calling about him. You have to. And to Mike's point, I thought he played a hell of a game on Sunday night.
Yeah, played well. I think it takes two to tango, and we were asked about it on yesterday's show or Packers OT. They all kind of blended together because I think they were 2 hours apart.
Right.
Nags, I struggle seeing good teams trading away players.
Yeah,
right? Like,
that's why I don't think it'll happen.
Yeah,
but
I
the
guess
calls
like
will get made.
And rightfully so. Teams should absolutely be calling. Just like the question more for us came in terms of the wide receiver position, and they're like, "Well, we have all of these guys," and I think Mike talked about Jaden Reed as well, and all of the young players that we have and great wide receivers. Well, why wouldn't we trade one of these guys and go get a corner so then Keyshawn Nixon doesn't have to play? And I was like, well, first off, let's
not
start
bench
it
anybody.
Let's start it in segments here. First off, if there is corner to be had who is starting caliber and going to be above Keyshawn Nixon, again, I bet the Packers are making a phone call, but those guys aren't really running on trees. I don't know Roger McCreary. I don't know if everybody had all of his greatest hits albums who was just shipped to the Los Angeles Rams.
Sure.
But I don't know that he's game changing in that variety. I didn't know that there were that many Greg Newsome fans potentially when he was moved from the
Greg Newsome stuff I remember because people really liked him in the draft. So that one I get. That one
really liked him in the draft. Now the contract would be a part 100%. That makes some sense. But I don't see team that believes they can win the Super Bowl trading, even if it's a depth piece. Any piece, because you don't know when that depth piece becomes,
because all of a sudden that depth
number 2 wide receiver.
That depth gets shallow real quick. Absolutely. I mean, you just got Watson back. You just lived without him for how long? Like you don't want to go back to living like that. Absolutely not. I'm with you. I don't think a move gets made, but you never know. But the overall arching point here is Enigbari played really well and has been playing really well. And it is funny because, like, man, you got kind of down the depth charted because of the Micah trade, but Lucas Van Ness going down has given him some opportunities, and he has absolutely responded. And I don't think he's out there like looking like an all-pro or anything, but he's playing really well, playing really solid ball, and they need him to with Van Ness being down. So that has been a pleasant development. No question.
Yeah, and you just said it with the Van Ness injury. He's one play away from being your starter. Right? Like that,
100%.
That's a tough spot to be. And as much as I was and still believe we can see some big time stuff from Lucas Van Ness this year.
Yes,
we had that sack just before the injury, which is nice.
Literally got hurt on the sack.
Like, I mean,
can't make this up.
That's tough. That's a tough lot in life when the biggest play that you make in the season might be your last play of the season. I don't believe it's going to be. I think he's going to be back.
Yeah.
But you're not going to deal away saying like, well, we got Lucas Van Ness. So, I mean, at some point, like we got Van Ness. It should be okay.
Right. No.
We want to hold on to everybody that can generate pass rush because we can very quickly be looking for it. And talk about another guy that returned here this week. Nice to see Devontae Wyatt into the fold.
Yes, sir.
Wow,
yes, sir. So different, and it's so funny how teams already were doing this, but the Steelers really leaned into. We have no interest in running in the A gap or between the tackles. We will attack the edges. Thank you very much, because we want nothing to do with Devontae Wyatt. That was, straight up. He kept making plays outside the tackle boxes. He's running like so much inside out pursuit. I got to think, man, I hope he was conditioned all week because he did so much running in this game because they wanted nothing to do with the middle of the line. They wanted to get away from him as much as possible.
Absolutely. The amount that every time I hear Micah Parsons talk to a reporter, he's first to mention DY all the time.
Yep.
So I'm like, oh, if he thinks he's that good, he must know what he's talking about. He
doesn't seem stupid. He seems like he knows what he's talking about in football.
That's how I analyze line play.
Well, yeah, right. Like it all adds up. It definitely all adds up. I did like Mike's other point, though. I do believe in baby steps, but just imagine if a healthy Jaden Reed gets back by December, offense could be deadly. Man, that's what's crazy. Think about what Jaden was doing those first couple games. That touchdown against Detroit should have been a touchdown against the Commanders. I mean, you add him into the mix. He's starting to cook with gas.
It'll be great.
No doubt about it.
I do like our friend Soder said, Colin Oliver. They have Colin Oliver. Man, Colin Oliver's family's not even giving him that kind of love.
Yeah, Colin Oliver. Man, is he a real person? He's the new what was it, Zane Anderson? Zane Anderson back in the day. Zane Anderson real? Does he exist? Is Colin Oliver a real human being? I don't.
Could be AI. Could be Brock. You don't know.
Probably AI.
Could be Grok. Could be like one of those birds that Armen's seeing in his AI bird feeder. We're going to get you up to speed on that deal.
No.
He's trying to get an AI bird feeder.
No. Well, that's kind of like what we're doing at Cheesehead TV. Corey's got an idea that he's going to have an AI avatar who sits in for him during watch parties. So it's just going to be me and AI Banky, like watching the games every week. That's where Cheesehead TV is heading. All right, and we're heading into a break. We're wrapping up hour 1. Hour 2 coming your way real quickly here. It's Carry the G Radio.
Now, a year in rock spotlight. 1973.
Led Zeppelin released their 5th album, Houses of the Holy. It goes to number 1 in the US and the UK and yields the top 20 hit Dire Maker.
But I still love you so, and I can't let you go. I love you. Ooh, baby, I love you.
The Doobie Brothers released their top 10 album, The Captain and Me, with the singles Long Train Running and China Grove. And in June, Joe Walsh and Barnstorm have a top 10 album buoyed by the single Rocky Mountain Way. Also in June of 73, George Harrison scores the number 1 single, Give Me Love, from the number 1 album, Living in the Material World. And Chicago's 6th album goes to number 1 with 2 top 10 hits, Just You and Me and Feeling Stronger Every Day. In July, 600,000 Jam Watkins Glen for Summer Jam, the largest rock festival ever held in the U.S. It features the band, the Grateful Dead, and the Allman Brothers. And in August, those same Allman Brothers released their first album after the death of Duane Allman and had their only hit single with Ramblin' Man, which goes to number 2.
Keep listening to iHeartRadio for more from 1973. Coming up. Now, a year in rock spotlight. 1973.
Boston band Aerosmith released their debut album. It fares poorly. It would be re-released in 76 and yield a top 10 hit, Dream On.
You ain't nothing but a hound dog, right on that.
Elvis Presley's live TV special, Aloha from Hawaii, is watched by more than 1 billion people worldwide and introduces the world to the rhinestone white jumpsuit. In February of 73, Alice Cooper has a number 1 album with Billion Dollar Babies, along with 3 top 40 singles. Elton John also has a number 1 album and his first number 1 single with Crocodile Rock. Paul McCartney and Wings have a number 1 single with My Love, and the Stooges signed to Columbia Records and released their final album, Raw Power, produced by David Bowie. In March, Pink Floyd releases the now legendary Dark Side of the Moon. It goes to number 1 and becomes one of the best-selling albums of all time.
And everything under the sun is you, and the sun is a great spot of moon.
Keep listening to iHeartRadio for more from 1973. Coming up. Now, a year in rock spotlight from 1977.
Whoa, back Betty, bam-a-lam, whoa, back Betty, bam-a-lam.
In June of 77, Ram Jam have a top 20 U.S. hit single with the cover of Lead Belly's song Black Betty. Chicago area rock band Styx have a U.S. top 10 album, Grand Illusion, including the top 10 single Come Sail Away.
Come sail away, come sail away, come sail away with me.
In July of 77, the Grateful Dead veered towards progressive rock, adding strings, horn, and a choir on their 9th studio album, Terrapin Station.
Terrapin in the whistling scream, Terrapin.
In August of 77, the King dies. Elvis Presley is found dead in his home in Memphis, Tennessee at the age of 42. Detroit rock vocalist Iggy Pop releases his second solo album, Lust for Life. It's his second collaboration with David Bowie. New York's Billy Joel releases his 5th album, The Stranger. It goes to number 2 in the U.S., with the single Just the Way You Are rising to number 3.
I want you just the way you are.
Keep listening to iHeartRadio for more from 1977. Coming up.
iHeartRadio goes one-on-one with Rick Springfield to get some insight on his latest release, Rocket Science.
It's a guitar-based record for sure, and I love big hooks, and not a country record at all. It's a rock and roll record, but it does have some country elements.
Keep listening to iHeartRadio for more from Rick Springfield and all your favorite artists. iHeartRadio goes one-on-one with Rick Springfield to discuss some of the differences between his acting career and his music career.
The hardest part is actually getting up at 5 a.m. for being on the road and then going out and playing. That's actually the toughest thing. The traveling has always been the hardest thing. I mean, I can get up at 5 o'clock in the morning for an acting gig because, it's not high exertion. You're basically being driven somewhere, and you just got to work on the part. But this show is what I do it for because of the connection. That's my connection to people.
Keep listening to iHeartRadio for more from Rick Springfield and all your favorite artists.
The Packers play here. Desert in style. WRNW FM Milwaukee 97.3 The Game. This is Carry the G, a show about everything Packers.
Let's go!
Green Bay Packers, woo!
And other stuff we love.
Oh, we just like to have some beers and a little tailgating.
Now, please welcome the man who carries the G 24/7 from Cheesehead TV, Aaron Nagler.
Carry the G Radio Hour 2 rolling on here. Bill Schmid, Armen Saryan there in the greater Milwaukee Metroplex. Aaron Nagler coming to you live from New York City. Carry the G Radio brought to you by Luigi's Pizza. Remember getting ready for game day with your favorite frozen pizza? Those were the days. And good news, they haven't gone away. They got upgraded with bigger and bolder flavors from your friends at Luigi's. Luigi's Big Daddy Pizza is piled high with loads of toppings on a crunchy crust, just the way you remember it, but even better. Filling pizzas made for real appetites. Find Luigi's Big Daddy Pizza in your grocer's freezer aisle. Taste the tradition. I'm going to taste some tradition tonight, man. I'm going to give me some pizza.
Yeah,
amen.
Damn. It is a pizza lunch day, no doubt about it. We had the youngster saying that he wanted to go to Costco, but no, we're just going to pop into Luigi's and feel a whole lot better about it.
That's what I'm talking about. That is what I'm talking about. I'm also talking about the Green Bay Packers with my boys Armen and Billy and Mike Witt, who has another
Come on, Mike.
On the Cheesehead TV YouTube channel. I just like it when they self-identify as Eeyores, because at least we get that out of the way, right?
I love it. Lean into it.
Lean into it. Be honest about yourself. Be self-reflective. I appreciate it. Mike says, one more. I hope my Eeyore side isn't coming out, but could this Carolina game be a treaded trap game, possibly looking past them to the Eagles? Banky or Tauscher on Carry the G would be amazing too. Go Pack, go.
I would
I
absolutely.
don't think either of those are going to happen, but we appreciate the sentiment. I will say this is true. 1,000,000,000% true story. Yesterday, I got a text from a friend of mine who works for the Carolina Panthers who said, and I quote, "The Green Bay Packers are the best team in football." And I said, yeah, they're playing well, right? They're playing well. Everybody's got warts. Packers certainly have theirs, but yeah, they're playing well. And then they said, well, just hope we can give you guys a game on Sunday. And my response was, exactly how this is going to play out.
Yeah.
Big game on Sunday. Big game 2 weeks from now. Noon kickoff. Oh, they're going to come out flat. I'm sorry. I don't make the rules. I've just watched 1 billion Green Bay Packers games, 1 million Green Bay Packers seasons. They're coming out flat. Noon kickoff. They're coming out flat on Sunday against the Panthers. That doesn't mean they're not going to win the game, because I think they will, but
sure,
it's going to be one of those classic, 3 and out, let them march down the field and score, and the crowd is quiet, and they look kind of flat. That is coming. Book that.
Yeah, that's an interesting one. I would say probably not with Andy Dalton as the quarterback, but if you like that one, Nags plus 6.5 at the Potawatomi Sportsbook for the first half with Carolina Panthers is what you can get. They're a better team than Carolina has been over the last couple of years. Also hard to be worse than having your owner actually throwing drinks on opposing fans. But they're starting to figure some stuff out. I like their head coach, Dave Canales. Knows football. And I think Bryce Young has looked a lot better this year. Now, granted, he's going to most likely miss the game with a high ankle sprain, and it's probably going to be Dalton again. They just got absolutely murdered.
Boat raced by the Bills.
It was bad to watch, and actually felt bad watching it for as long as I did on Sunday Ticket. But I think there's some players on that Carolina team, but I don't know. You're fit though. The system play, Armin, in the betting world, as we would like to say, that's a system play.
System play.
Packers in the middle of two big, huge games. Noon boom. Sleepy potential green package there in Lambeau Field.
Going to be a tough
one. I knew it. Armin, I'm not even addressing it. Not even addressing it. You're just speaking to your own insecurities there, Billy. Just your own insecurities coming out for all to hear. That's all.
Head coach talks about it. Head coach talks about how much louder and more exciting.
So good.
We go again, dividing instead of uniting. We should be uniting.
A uniting force for good.
We're green and gold. We're together. We are the Packer Nation, not green versus gold. Look, I'll say this. You mentioned that they're not as bad as you might think the Panthers have been this year. They're not. On one aspect. The other hand of this is because there are expectations from fans of, this should be a cakewalk. Almost anything will not satisfy right early on unless it's like 1-0. And your old buddy there in Carolina is just setting you up. Don't let him do all that.
I
Hey,
know.
I love you guys.
Trust me, I know.
You're so good. We're nothing. We're just happy to be on the field collecting checks. No.
Hey, you guys are awesome.
No. This is the Trojan horse setup.
Always. Yeah.
They probably have some brilliant game. No, I'm just kidding. I do think I agree, Billy. I think the Packers will win, but I always been telling Billy my prediction for the last 3 weeks has been true. I think the Packers will win, and I think you'll take unsatisfied fan calls on Packers OT from another fan base that's unhappy about the way we won and the way we did it. But I don't know. Unless Lamar Lathan, Sam Mills, and Kevin Green are walking through that door, I'm not too worried about this.
Shout out. Great, man. Sam Mills is one of my favorite players ever outside of Green Bay Packers, lore. Like, I love Sam Mills.
That was the one concern about 96, right? The NFC title game was that group of linebackers with Dom Zone blitz and all that stuff.
No doubt.
You like to think the Packers will take care of business, but is it
that's the hope? Yeah, and they should. Look, they're the better team. They're playing at home, for God's sakes. They absolutely
are 12.5-point favorites. Yeah,
they should. Now, what wasn't it a couple weeks ago? They were 14+ point favorites against the Bengals, I believe.
Well, we won.
They won, and which I think they will again on Sunday. I'm just saying, this idea that, and especially since you saw the Bills take care of business the way they did, the expectations become, that's what the Packers should do. Just saying, it probably doesn't work out that way. Still think they get the dub, but it's not going to play out that way.
Yeah, it is an NFL football game. And I think I've talked about this too many different times throughout during post games. Nags, doing Saturday and Sunday post games, there are no bottom of the Big Ten, bottom of the SEC teams in pro football, right? Everybody is a top 25 outfit, and you're not just going to walk in and homecoming style roll somebody, even though the Packers are trying to homecoming style roll the Carolina Panthers as they bust out the 30s throwbacks.
Oh, man.
That's generally something you would do.
That is what they do.
That's what you would do on a homecoming game against, let's circle the opponent. Carolina.
Who should we dog walk? Oh, right. Okay.
Actually needed to sell tickets for a single game variety. That would be the one that we put for a bigger gate. So let's just circle that one and wear the throwbacks that day.
Remember when they did that against the Jets? It was supposed to be, they're wearing the throwbacks and they're going to roll the Jet. And then the Jets came in and whooped up on them. That was
17-0 or something like that at halftime.
That was
a rough day.
That was very tough. That's one of the tougher watch parties we've done too, because Corey was in Japan for that game and he's up at 4:30 a.m. and it's the second half.
Good luck getting that part of the AI.
Oh my God!
That's
the Packers look completely lifeless and can't move the ball. And Corey hasn't slept, and he's going. He didn't know what was real and what was a dream because he was just so out of it. I don't ever want to deal with that again, ever.
I'm excited to see the AI. Mostly throughout the break, the only thing I've been thinking of, not the Carolina Panthers, is AI Banky and how this is going to look. Armin, I'm excited to see what AI does with the receiver gloves. And also if AI is good enough on the receiver gloves to have a logo printed in the midst of it. So that when he puts the hand up, it gets there. Because listen, stuff's pretty solid. AI is maybe not good enough to act as dumb as we do on a daily basis.
True.
But it's pretty good. It's pretty dang good.
It's getting closer. No doubt about it. One of the things that I love that Soder brings this up in the chat. Soder, long time Cheesehead TV viewer and listener. Oh my God, the backup QB is Packer kryptonite. I do feel that there is a kind of a generational thing here, because certainly it's played out recently, right? We saw it a couple years ago when they went to New York. They were going to roll over the Giants because they had beaten up on the Lions and Chiefs, and then they go on national television and get beat by Tommy freaking DeVito. So I understand there's like recent precedents here, but it does feel like this kind of attitude is born out of that horrible Thanksgiving day where, third string Jason Garrett was going to be playing and starting for the Cowboys, and Packers fans thought, finally, we're going to win down in Dallas. And then Garrett proceeds to throw all over the Packers defense. And I think since then, backup quarterbacks have been a very real kind of boogeyman for Packers fans.
It is the origination of it, probably. I also think it's a little bit of you remember the times it didn't go well? Because I'm sure if I start looking back, there were a lot of times when the Packers
all the backup QBs they whooped up on. Right.
Yeah, I mean, that was my fear when we played, I'm blanking on his name, the Vikings.
Because he's a backup.
Joe Webb.
I remember being terrified walking into the wild card game. I was already terrified because we're playing Billy knows I run for my nightmares. We're playing the Vikings.
I've never been so retrospectively disappointed in a human being. Yeah. When Owen told me about his upset and consternation before this game.
So I was like already nervous. We're playing the Vikings in the playoffs. I'm like, please, we can't lose the Vikings in the playoffs. I have bad memories. Randy Moss. And just,
I get it.
And then right before the game, it's Joe Webb starting because of this injury. And I'm like, oh no, it was just like this.
We have a game plan for Joe Webb.
It'd be fine, but is this going to be like the wrench in the thing disaster? And then we go out and blow them out. I remember thinking there, like, I was really worried about Joe Webb. But you know what? That's an example of there are times when it doesn't go that badly.
No, exactly. They do exactly what's expected, and they take care of business. But again, probably somewhat, I want to say unusual, but the idea that the backups have been a problem for the Packers, I think, over the years is not an unfounded fear. But that said, I'm looking at the Green Bay Packers here coming into this game, coming off a game where, they did move the ball with relative ease in the second half. And I know the Steelers defense has been problematic, and all I see are Steelers fans like really grousing about their defense this week, which I get. But I also think the Packers remain their own worst enemy when it comes to how to stop the Packers. Well, the Packers are the one team that consistently stops them, because it's like the self-inflicted wounds have not gone away. But when they do, which I think you saw evidence of in the second half, it's amazing. This team does move the ball and does score points. So I do think you're talking about paths to victory or how this game might play out on Sunday. That is more than anything. If the Packers can stay away from false starts, lining up offsides or in the neutral zone, illegal formation nonsense, like keep your head in the game, and they should be able to control this one from the jump.
These are important games because these are BYOJ games. Bring your own juice. Now, granted, Lambeau's going to have juice. It's going to be exciting. It's going to be loud. But you do have to take a lot of pride in your own individual performance and your own individual matchup as to how you dominate it. This feels like a big pass rush game. I mean, listen, Rico Dowdle and Chuba Hubbard are nice backs. Rico Dowdle had a phenomenal game a couple of weeks ago when he got to take on the Cowboys. Listen, everybody has a good game against the Cowboys. Or had a good game against the Cowboys, or would have a good game against the Cowboys. So, I'm not that nervous there. I do think there's a real feastable opportunity on Andy Dalton behind center, because Bryce Young, again, this is a dude that you go up and down with the young quarterback, up and down to the point where he gets benched last year, and the only reason he gets his job back, is because Andy Dalton legitimately gets in a car wreck.
Yes.
Like the old joke of we need 2 car wrecks and you're in. That actually,
we got 1 car wreck.
We got 1 car wreck, and that's actually how Bryce Young got his job back, and he's taken it and run with it. He's been a good quarterback for them so far. It's all about when you play teams, not always who you play. And you're again, it's the Carolina Panthers. People are going to laugh and smirk here, but they were 4-3 going into last week, right? It's all about when you play teams, and there is a reason why you're a 12.5-point favorite. It's because you're taking on another backup quarterback at home. And this one's not Joe Flacco, even though they both are older and would give you the skeletal remains feel.
Skeletal remains. I love it. Absolutely love it. You're not wrong, though. You are not wrong. I will say, it's going to be nice to be back in Lambeau. Like, the schedule has been whack, man, as far as how much time this team has spent on the road. I mean, I get we had those first 2 quick games in Lambeau, but since then it's been like 1 game every month. That's what it's felt like anyway. Like it's been annoying in that regard. This is a team that clearly plays better at home. I want more home games. Darn it.
Also would like in Nags, this is the old man in me. And Armin knows I had a real realization of
Boomer Radio brought to you by Luigi's.
Where I took a picture today in the progressive commercial of the When You Become Your Parents. I two-handed took a vertical picture and did the little like
the squint,
the farting face, like am I holding
the one eye?
Yeah. But like at that moment, that was when I realized I was old. I also realized I was pretty old when I said on Packers OT, thank God it's a noon start. The way
there it is.
Be played at Lambeau Field. Packers always 325s and these night games and these Thursdays. I know we get Monday on the horizon, and that's one that we're all very, very excited for. But 5 of the next 6 games being at noon, thank God.
I mean, the way the good Lord intended, right? I mean, get that game kicked off at noon. You get done. You go have a few cocktails, maybe go out to the supper club and call it a night on Sunday. I like it. I'm down.
You get yourself a big chicken dinner at the Moose Club, and you're feeling phenomenal after that.
Or as Mike says, Mike Witt again, the Kroll's Butterburger.
There you go. He'll be there on Sunday. Can already taste the Kroll's Butterburger. Now we're talking. And he also asks, who's the kicker going to be on Sunday? Here we go. Here we go.
An hour 15, we finally talk about kicking, Billy.
I know that's where the kickers rank in the pecking order. That's where we talk about them. An hour and 15 into the show. You sure as hell don't lead with the kickers. You know what I'm saying? Like that's where they should be. But man, it is a conversation to be had after that game. And I think it's pretty easy to say. I mean, McManus probably came back a little early. I think, is that fair? Can we say that? I mean, I didn't even have access to the medical information, but it feels fair to say, especially when you had a kid just stroking it, knocking through a 61-yarder franchise record the week before. And then your kicker comes back probably too early and misses 2 kicks. I mean, that's a rough look, man. That's a rough look for everyone involved, not just McManus. Because, of course, McManus wants to play.
Yeah.
I get that. Players want to play. But at some point, it's like, maybe they should have put him on IR and just let the kid kick.
Well, and the other part of it is, Nags, like maybe you take away the temptation of kicking at Acrisure. It's a tough spot. Like the way the field has been brutal all year.
Open end, yes, 1,000%.
Chris Boswell is one of the best kickers in the game,
yes,
and
sir.
he slipped and almost fell on his ass kicking a field goal a couple of weeks ago there. Like it's just not been a great spot to kick in. And I don't know how you felt. It felt like my man missed the second kick before he actually kicked the ball.
I couldn't agree more.
It did not look like there was any chance that ball was going through the uprights. And maybe he slipped. Maybe there was something wrong with the operation, but it looked bad instantly. Kind of like when your buddy tells you he's not going to hit it into the water off to the left side and he hits it into the water. But the first one, I'm also, my mind's been broken. And Armin and I talked about it. Like 58 yards feels like a 42-yarder now.
Yes.
The way that I'm watching.
The way the NFL has gone.
Boot 60-yarders and
the expectations are what they are now.
I remember when you used to miss 58-yarders short, right? Like, so I'm trying to calm down on that side, but I would love to know how the conversation went.
Yes.
With just the little thumbs up that he gave. The thumbs up. I'm good.
Yep.
I'll see you guys in there. Like there, maybe we need to analyze how much and how ready we were to be able to play in the game.
Here's the thing, like you talk about the 58-yarder. You were out there this summer, man. He was stroking it from 60 on the regular. 60, 61.
We were
no
like,
issues.
He hasn't missed all summer. That was the thing, you know.
And he had plenty of leg. So that's why I'm like, I
couldn't believe he missed
pretty
short.
clear he's early. He's come back a little early, still dealing with whatever he's dealing with, which is why to answer Mike's question, I won't be surprised if Haversack gets the call here. I won't be surprised if they go, you know what, Brandon, get to be 100%. Let's just sit him down. We got the roster spot. Let's just sit him down for as long as necessary until he is point blank 100%, and then bring him back. And put him on IR, don't put him on IR, whatever you want to do, but just let the kid kick. You got somebody who you found is really so far pretty damn reliable. Why are you complicating it? Make sure you're the kicker who you paid, you have under contract for the next 3 years. Make sure he's 100% before throwing him out there and having some bad outcomes and maybe putting something in his head that you don't need, especially long term. So that's where I'm at.
And it was bizarre to see him miss one short because, like you said, we've been retrained in our brains. When's the last time you saw a kicker miss one short?
I couldn't tell you.
And I remember starting thinking, is Pittsburgh in altitude because of the mountains? And I'm like, it was so weird. But then Boswell was killing it.
He was killing it.
I realized, McManus has had no problems with altitude in the past.
He kicked it in Denver. Yeah, he's been fine.
Yeah.
So,
I do like that we're also saying stroking it again. That's one of the words that needs to come back. And Urban Dictionary took that one way too often. Ed and MKE said, it really pisses me off. Yeah, man. Okay. It really pisses me off all season. Packers never given their flowers. Always here talking about how good the other teams are. The Packers are having problems with them. It'll be a blowout Sunday. Y'all can stop. Let's go, Ed. Ed's laying it down on the table.
Let's go, Ed! Come on, Ed! Yeah, Ed!
Ass this weekend. You guys can all calm down with this. The Carolina's so good stuff. I like that, Ed. He said, let's give them the respect
well
deserve.
Let's be clear here. We know Carolina's not good, but they are an NFL team. There's a difference there. It's just there's no homecoming games.
They're not
That's
Purdue.
all.
Yeah, they're
That's
not
all it
Purdue.
is. They're not the Badgers.
That
Put it that way. That's called an automatic W when you see it on your schedule now.
That was rude.
That W people are doing in the stands, that means you are getting a win against us.
Those boys played hard on Saturday. You watch your mouth on that one. They tried. They're bad.
They tried. They tried is an improvement over what they did the couple weeks prior. So I'll take it. That's
big time.
Incremental improvement.
Big time. Big time.
I posit that they're trying because they know they're playing for potential NIL money other places, but that's a conversation for another day. Yeah.
Isn't that why we play sports?
Put it on the tape. Put it on.
Isn't that why we play sports?
What, to get NIL money? I guess in this.
Yeah, that's why these guys in the NFL are playing.
No doubt.
Make that money, baby.
Make that cheddar. That's what we're gonna do with this ad break. Apparently, I don't even know what happens here anymore. But on the flip side, we're gonna keep taking your calls, your texts, your YouTube chats here at Carry the G Radio each and every week. It's Billy, it's Armin, it's Aaron. Carry the G Radio.
iHeartRadio goes one-on-one with Peter Gabriel to reflect on the WOMAD Festival's evolution.
We initially started this WOMAD Festival in 1980. The first one was 82, and it was very naive enthusiasm for some of these strange and wonderful things we were hearing. And as a failed drummer, I was hearing grooves that I fell in love with, which seemed a lot more alive than what I was hearing on the radio. As a singer too, these wonderful voices, and it's still continued that way. And it's a lot more difficult, because the demise of the music business and record stores has made it extremely difficult for any minority interest label. But we work hard to focus online activities, and there is still, happy to say, a good audience, and the WOMAD Festival is, I think, like a lot of live parts of the business, actually flourishing, even though the records are not doing as well.
Keep listening to iHeartRadio for more Peter Gabriel and all your favorite artists.
Now, a year in rock spotlight, 1968.
California's Creedence Clearwater Revival released their debut LP, which contains the number 11 single, Susie Q. And in August, American band Tommy James and the Shondells have a #1 hit in the UK with Moni Moni. It goes to #8 in the US. And the Doors have their first #1 album and their second and last #1 single with Hello, I Love You.
When she moves, my brain screams out this song.
In November of '68, Van Morrison releases his second solo album, Astral Weeks, and Joe Cocker has a UK #1 with his cover of the Beatles with A Little Help from My Friends.
Don't you know I'm gonna make you a lot.
And in December, Motown holds the top spot with #1 hits from Marvin Gaye, I Heard It Through the Grapevine, and the Supremes with Love Child. The Beatles released their first single on their own Apple label, Hey Jude, back with Revolution. The over 7-minute song went to #1 in the US and the UK.
Keep listening to iHeartRadio for more from 1968, coming up. Now, a year in rock spotlight, 1967.
Try to set the night on fire.
In January of 1967, Los Angeles band The Doors released their debut album, which eventually goes to #2, and features the single Light My Fire, which goes to #1 in July. The Rolling Stones released Ruby Tuesday, an ode to a groupie written by Keith Richards. The song takes them to #1 in the US in March. And San Francisco band The Jefferson Airplane released the surrealistic Pillow album, scoring 2 top 10 hits with White Rabbit and Somebody to Love.
Don't you want somebody to love? Don't you need somebody to love? Wouldn't you love somebody to love? You better find somebody to love.
In March of '67, Buffalo Springfield re-releases their debut album to include the hit single For What It's Worth. In April of '67, Give Me Some Lovin' by the Spencer Davis Group goes to #7 in the US, with vocals by 17-year-old Steve Winwood. And in May, Elvis Presley marries his 21-year-old girlfriend Priscilla in Las Vegas. In May, Mitch Ryder hits #4 with Devil with a Blue Dress, Good Golly Miss Molly. And the Jimi Hendrix Experience released their debut in the UK. In July, they toured the US as the opening act for the Monkees in support of the US album release.
Keep listening to iHeartRadio for more from 1967, coming up.
iHeartRadio. Here are the top Pat Benatar songs that you've thumbed up. #3, Love is a Battlefield. #2, We Belong. #1, Hit Me With Your Best Shot.
Hit me with your best shot. Why don't you hit me with your best shot? Hit me with your best shot. Fire away.
Hear more from Pat Benatar and similar artists now. Search for Pat Benatar on iHeartRadio. All your favorite music, all your favorite stations, all free.
Carry the G Radio coming back at you. What a pull from Armen. There you go. On the decks with a classic from Tears for Fears. Had to let the drum fill hit before I started talking because, man, classic. Just a perfect intro for a song. Come on. You can't beat it. You love it. You know it. It's the best. Great song.
It is a good one.
That's an ultimate driving song right there.
Yeah, that's absolutely true.
Ultimate driving song. Absolutely.
Like there's no turning back.
There's no turning back, baby. Put that gas. Put that pedal to the metal, baby.
That's sadly been one of the things that my 2-year-old has now learned. He learned the phrase "turn around." So now when we're driving, he goes, "Turn around! I need ice cream cone." Yeah. Like, buddy, that's just not how this works. Turn around! I need Brewers on. We're like, well, but that's not how this works.
Got some bad news for you there, kid.
Yeah, that was the problem. So luckily now we have turned him into. No, the Packers are coming on, so we have that dialed in.
There you go.
Bucks coming on, he's excited about. But
go.
Turn around, I don't like because it makes it sound like he thinks that my driving is bad, and I don't handle backseat driving well. So he's going to have.
I can't fathom that, Billy. You're so open and available to criticism. I'm just shocked. Actually, I'm just unbelievable.
I also think the funny thing is, I don't think he's going to care what you think. I think he's going to keep out logicking you.
Instead he laughs at me.
It's like, no, turn around.
Yeah, good one, Dad. Just turn around. Turn around.
Just turn around. Man, yeah, I'm glad I don't deal with any of that anymore. Then they get older and then they all have personalities and thoughts of their own that they have to then act upon, and then they make mistakes, and you're like, I told you. But you didn't listen because I'm just a dumb old man, that you don't pay any attention to. It's whatever.
It's almost like Dad's not an idiot.
Kind of like he's been on this earth for 52 years. Maybe you should listen. I don't know.
Yeah, the issues just change. I told someone once, well, I'm excited for my daughter to grow because then I can reason with her. And then,
that's adorable. Oh, Armen.
That's the reaction.
Armen. Oh my God. Just wait. Sir, when she hits 12, you are gonna know a different world. The size, the eye rolling, dog. I'm sorry, like there's no reasoning involved. What are you talking about right now?
I've been told.
I'm trying to change. I'm trying to set realistic expectations for you, sir. That's all I'm trying to do.
Well, that's important because at 2 Nags, we just learned how to negotiate. So I'm like, nobody, we're gonna go upstairs. He goes, how about 2 more minutes? Okay, 2 more minutes. How about 5 more minutes?
See,
I'm like,
when my girls were little, I had a very, very strict, we do not negotiate with terrorist policy. So, there was no negotiation. There was just, we're going to do what Dad says.
I like that.
That's how we worked. That's why we worked in the Nagler house.
Do you think that's what goes in the locker room or in like the team meeting room? Because apparently not. Apparently Matt LaFleur is open to conversation.
I heard this, right?
Because Bo Melton's finding himself out of the field. My man Bo Melton keeps finding himself out of the offensive field, Nags, with an embarrassment of wide receiver riches. We're still seeing number 16.
Got to get snaps for Bo Melton.
And not do it. Hilarious to see. I'm like, okay, let's go. Keep rolling with it.
Bo's had a 100-yard receiving game.
I know he was like the first one to do it back in what was it, 2023, 2022?
Yes.
Yeah. So man is a contributor, no question about it. Speaking of contributions from anywhere and everywhere, we got Nate in Oak Creek on the line, I believe. What's going on with Nate? What's on your mind, Nate?
Morning, guys. I just had a really random thing to call in about. I just had to talk to Armen for a second.
Okay.
I love the positivity. I love that you're this you're a wholesome guy, but you have no business being the voice of reason, sounding as much like Steve-O as you do.
Yeah, I've heard that before. I do sound like Steve-O, right? That's pretty good.
You too, and I'm like, you're such a nice, like, genuine guy, and I'm like, your voice does not match your personality.
Doesn't match the guy that like staples himself together and does things like that. And
exactly.
Appreciate that.
That's great work, Nate, and thank you very much. Now, I got to be honest, like that, he's spot on. You could not have 2 different individuals,
disparate people represented by the same vocal inflection. No doubt about it.
Next, don't we always talk about the outlier performances, right? And then somewhere the truth is somewhere right.
It's right in the middle. Right in the middle.
Would be on the outliers of guys that sound like they do. One dude that's ready to, as you said, Armen, staple his own leg. I think I've seen him staple his eyelid.
He'll take any chance, and I'm like the most cautious guy,
I don't know. Armen's ever ran a yellow light in his life.
That's too much. Too much could go wrong. Yeah, I mean, that's, well, Steve-O. I'm not a risk. I'm more at risk.
I wasn't ready. I wasn't prepared. Oh my God.
What an answer.
I'm too averse to risk. Yeah. I'm too averse to risk.
It goes with the yellow light. Too much could go wrong.
Yeah, I
Oh,
don't.
I needed that. That was
See,
so
the best
good.
thing is, the best thing is, I thought the joke ran like a fart in the wind, just completely away, and luckily Armen just grabs that thing and windmill dunks it through the awesome.
And you watch Steve-O, and this guy survived everything, so he's got to be feeling better and better about taking those chances. Like, if I've already survived this long, no, it's too much could go wrong. I'm the kind of guy you could probably convince to buy the insurance on a rental car. Like, you know what I mean? Like, just to be safe. Like,
100%. And you're not getting reimbursed by the company.
Nope, you're just buying it yourself.
Just buying it.
You're there at the rental counter, and they got that iPad thing, and you're just like, "Yep, give it all the insurance. Yep, all of it. That's Armen.
Sir, would you like to buy this care package for 2 years that allows for repair? Well, it is a phone charger. It's $15 and that's $12. You know what? Yeah, maybe I will do it. Yeah, maybe I will do. I can save $3.
Yeah, the Geek Squad package.
So much can go wrong. I can't get over the yellow light.
Yeah, I mean, you don't want to take chances.
God, it's so
Man, see, this is what happens. The higher ups are like, you know what? We need Armen Saryan to have a microphone in front of him for 4 hours because we can't stop the gold. Now you put 5 hours in and you get that gem right there.
I do.
Dude, you better watch out. They're going to have you on that board. They're going to have you talking into this microphone for 12 hours a day with jokes like that in hour number 5.
That's true.
Okay, we're gonna do a hard reset here with Uncultured Barbarian on the Cheesehead TV YouTube chat, who says, Nags, I don't think Dalton has a Brad Hoover game in him. I don't think I'm in Eeyore, but like all the other old heads, I've seen some stuff. Brad Hoover. Does anyone remember the Brad Hoover game down in Carolina? What an unfortunate night to be a Green Bay Packers fan. Holy cow. Thanks for that pull, Uncultured. Oh, Hoover, he was like a fullback who ran all over the Packers. I think it was a Monday night game. Oh, that was a rough one. That was a very, very rough. That might have been the one that might have been one where the crazy dude ran onto the field in the middle of a play. Or no, like right between plays.
This is 2000.
It was November. It was November 27th, 2000, as the Packers, both teams ended the night at 5-7 when George Seifert's Carolina Panthers, ran with your boy Hoover for 24 totes.
He ran all over the Packers that night.
Oh my goodness. He was just all over the place in this game. I just lost his stat line here momentarily. Sorry. 24 totes for $117 and a touchdown. Also 3 grabs for 45. He had
a fullback, by the way.
All-purpose yards.
2000. What were you doing, Niall Diggs or whoever was playing?
Oh man, what were you doing? I want to know what you were doing that you let this game slip right through your memory bank.
I probably maybe if we were 5-6, because you said we were 5-7
that
so
night.
Maybe 5-6. I was already putting it out of my memory. I don't know because
memory holing it.
Exiting
instantly.
the 90s. I was in high school. We're exiting the glory of the 90s, and I was like,
I will say, I'm pretty sure that's the night where a dude ran onto the field and they did show him momentarily because he went between the lines. Like he went between the offensive and defensive lines. And Dennis Miller was in the booth. That was the Dennis Miller year. And they did a close-up of the dude's face and he looked crazy, whatever. And Dennis Miller goes, "Oh my God, that's my agent." And it was like one of the greatest quick fake lines ever out of Monday Night Football. It was so good.
I didn't realize until I got older how weird the pairing for Dennis Miller and Monday Night Football was, but it was
great.
You go back, it's pretty funny. You go back and hear some of that stuff.
I thought he was wonderful in the booth. He was dope.
Nothing better than hearing Al Michaels talk about it, where he's like, and then that happened.
That is a thing that happened.
But listen, it still is better than Tony Kornheiser in the booth. I mean, goodness gracious.
Yeah, Kornheiser's fine on PTI, but in the booth is wrong. He's just not. That ain't his gig. You know who's great? Now that we're kind of on the rails of announcers, JJ Watt is phenomenal in the booth. I'm like, he's 8 games into his booth career, as it were. He is phenomenal, and he was fantastic down the stretch of this Ravens-Bears game on Sunday, where the Bears, they're down by 2 scores, and they have one drive to save their lives, and they kept getting tackled in bounds, so the clock kept running. And JJ, every time it happened, he just got more and more exasperated. He was like, "Oh, this is a disaster. Oh, this is terrible." It's just so funny because it was an affront to him as a football guy. Knowing there was a big play up the right side, just go out of bounds.
Yeah, just
save the time. And dude gets tackled in bounds. And JJ was just beside himself. It was
and that's a defensive player. That's knowing those moments.
Because he knows ball, It's it was so good. It was so good. He's been excellent on TV so far.
I don't know how you feel about it, Nags. I think one of the reasons why is because he took a deep breath. Right? There's so many of these individuals that they rush out of the broadcast boot camp. I'm watching my man Manti Te'o on Good Morning Football. God bless him and his family. I don't know who decided that show should continue when it was already completely gutted and there's only one guy still left on the show. But right out of the gates, right out of your NFL career, boom, thrown on national television every single day. ease into this stuff a little bit. CBS did a good job of nurturing
True.
JJ. He was on the panel for 6 games, then 10 games. Then he goes on with McAfee and learns a little bit more fun factor to have. And he's like 3 years out of ball. Now you can
in the booth
call games instead of Drew Brees. Hey, you just finished playing your last NFL game 9 months ago. We're gonna put you on Sunday Night Football and try not to suck.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, he was awful, not surprising. And like Jason Witten had to go back and play football so people remembered that he knew what he was talking about because he was so bad at broadcasting. This guy's a chance and give him a little bit of guidance, a little bit of nurturing. I'm with you. I think JJ's phenomenal.
Yeah, he's been outstanding. And the thing is like he doesn't get the greatest matchups. He doesn't get the greatest games because he's not obviously the A crew or whatever. But he's so good on every game I've heard him on so far. He's been phenomenal. Like,
but luckily they put him with Ian, so at least they weren't going to get a bunch of Jags Panthers.
That's true. That's true. Ian Eagle's great. Yeah,
a professionsional. And the thing is, you work your way up on those crews. Like you never know. You never know. Also, if you're on a lower crew, what game you'll call that'll be historic. I mean.
That's true.
Falcons, the Brett Favre dive at County Stadium. That was a young, like 24-year-old Joe Buck. You know what I mean? Buck. We called that game
on the up and coming circuit there. Although I'm pretty confident that a Jonathan Vilma call is never going to go, become a classic. I'm just throwing that out.
With Jonathan Vilma and Kenny Albert, that's a tough scene. Now,
I like Kenny. Kenny deserves so much more. So much better.
Well, I held back.
Easy.
Do I insert the Mark Sanchez joke?
No, don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. We're gonna reset. We're gonna come back on the flip side, and we're gonna
go yell it outside.
We're gonna talk about how the Packers are. Don't get it twisted, man. They are gonna boat race the Carolina Panthers.
Come on, Ed. Firing this place up.
Is that acceptable for your texter from earlier?
Yes, Ed is much happier because you at least are giving some respect.
We're gonna boat race the Carolina Panthers.
Put on the gas. All green lights.
All green. We're gonna step on that pedal from the get-go, baby. It's happening. It's also happening as well. We're gonna pay some bills for somebody. That's Billy and Armin. This is Aaron on Carry the G Radio.
Tired of all the darkness in our lives.
Now, a year in rock spotlight, 1967.
Try to set the night on fire.
In January of 1967, Los Angeles band The Doors released their debut album, which eventually goes to number 2, and features the single Light My Fire, which goes to number 1 in July. The Rolling Stones released Ruby Tuesday, an ode to a groupie written by Keith Richards. The song takes them to number 1 in the U.S. in March. And San Francisco band The Jefferson Airplane released the surrealistic Pillow album, scoring 2 top 10 hits with White Rabbit and Somebody to Love.
Don't you want somebody to love? Don't you need somebody to love? Wouldn't you love somebody to love? You better find somebody to love.
In March of 67, Buffalo Springfield re-releases their debut album to include the hit single For What It's Worth. In April of 67, Give Me Some Lovin' by the Spencer Davis Group goes to number 7 in the U.S., with vocals by 17-year-old Steve Winwood. And in May, Elvis Presley marries his 21-year-old girlfriend Priscilla in Las Vegas. In May, Mitch Ryder hits number 4 with Devil with a Blue Dress, Good Golly Miss Molly. And the Jimi Hendrix Experience released their debut in the UK. In July, they toured the U.S. as the opening act for the Monkees in support of the U.S. album release.
Keep listening to iHeartRadio for more from 1967, coming up.
iHeartRadio! Here are the top Stevie Wonder songs that you've thumbed up. Number 3, Part-Time Lover.
Pass me by, don't even speak. Know the word is sweet when part-time lovers.
Number 2, Isn't She Lovely?
Isn't she lovely? Isn't she wonderful? Isn't she precious? That's not 1 minute. Oh.
Number 1, Superstition.
Very superstitious.
Hear more from Stevie Wonder and similar artists now. Search for Stevie Wonder on iHeartRadio. All your favorite music, all your favorite stations, all free. iHeartRadio. Here are the top Steve Miller Band songs that you've thumbed up. Number 3, Take the Money and Run.
Bobby Sue, took the money and run. Go on, take the money and run. Go on, take the money and run.
Number 2, Rockin' Me.
I know that it's true that all the things that I do will come back to me in my sweet time. So keep on rocking me, baby. Keep on rocking me, baby.
Number 1, The Joker.
I play my music in the sun. I'm a joker, I'm a smoker, I'm a midnight toker. I get my loving on the run.
Hear more from the Steve Miller Band and similar artists now. Search for Steve Miller Band on iHeartRadio. All your favorite music, all your favorite stations, all free.
Oh, yeah. Come on, Armen. All the good stuff. Air the G Radio, wrapping up another week of Packers talk, talking about this game on Sunday against the Panthers. And Mike Witt chiming in because he can't help himself. He's got to end on an Eeyore note. Here we go. Mike says they need to do something different on punt returns, too. Either put Savion back there or bring back Hardman. He couldn't be any worse, could he? LOL. I mean, I'm sorry. Can I take a stand here? I'd like to declare something. I love Romeo Doubs on punt return.
Mm-hmm.
Love him. Love Romeo Doubs on punt return. And I loved Shields' tweet the other night when he said it looks like he can't remember if he's called for a fair catch or not on every return, which I love it. I love what Doubs is doing as a punt returner. I'm all in.
I also like seeing the Guardian cap on the field at all times. That's why we knew, and we talked about it on this radio program, that the double bubble lineup was going to be an issue. And sure as shooting,
double bubble, baby.
There goes Romeo Doubs and Savion Williams lining up on the same side. Orbit motion runs Williams off to the left side. He catches the first touchdown for a rookie wide receiver in 2025.
Let's do it. I love it.
Need more double bubble. But I will say, I want, and we talked about it a little bit yesterday, Armen. I was like, how about this? Romeo Doubs, your punt returner for here on out, because he caught the football.
It's a big part of it.
And
it's
it's
crazy concept, Billy.
The most important part is the first part. Just catch the football, and dive forward for as many yards as you possibly can. Looks like Romeo Doubs has a good innate ability to. Lamar Jackson does this at the quarterback spot. He doesn't take a big hit. Rome, even though he has the concussion issues, I feel like a lot of those have been on falls where he's sadly hit the back of his head, going and trying to high point the ball. He doesn't really get blown up a ton. So catch the ball, get down, get ready for offense, and then twerk whenever you can. Like, those are good moments.
He's done an outstanding job of putting his foot in the ground and getting upfield. Like, yes, there's always a moment apparently where he's kind of sizing things up. Where he's literally at some of these returns, he just stands there and is like, which way should I go? But then he puts his foot in the ground and gets upfield, which is exactly what you want. Get the yardage you can. And then to your point, get down, get ready for the offensive series. I'm down with that.
Last thing I'm going to do is try to say that he's Devin Hester. However, Devin Hester did an amazing job of doing that exact thing. Where he would catch the ball and he'd stand there.
Yep.
And it was almost like when you were playing football in the backyard with like your buddy's older brother and their friends, and they'd be like, all right, we're going to give you a 3-second head start. And he just sits there and catches it, waits till you commit where you're going. Goes, all right, sweet, right there. Boom. Done.
Boom.
Game over. And like he's just surgically eyeing up where he's going. Rome isn't doing that. He is, though, for how I can get 7 yards. How about I catch this, get 7 yards, get us close to a first down, and then boom, I'll be fine. And then I'm going to go catch 2 more passes. That's all you need. We've asked so many times. Let's just get some real competence on the special teams unit.
Yeah.
That's a competent answer at the punt return. Catch the ball, get down, get ready for offense.
And when in doubt, run north. I think there's something to be said there. You can try and hit a big one if you think you can, but when in doubt, run north and get what you can. That's not a bad thing. Catching's the first important thing. And don't fair catch on the 5, like, the regular type of things like that, like the regular type of.
Although it's weird, that's not a Packers thing specifically. I've noticed, like,
no, that rule's changed in football. I think.
But like people catching the punt at the 2 is like on the regular now. What the hell happened to the game I love, man? Put your feet on the 5, and if it's over your head, let it go.
Should be simple. Right. It should be simple.
Yeah, I think these K-balls are just too good now. I think that's where the thought is, like the 5 and the 1 are so vastly different, or like the 7 and the 1. Because it used to be, I'm not catching anything inside
the 10. Yeah.
Then it went to the 5, and I think 5 is probably the cutoff. And you do see guys be like, "Ooh, damn, I'm at the 1."
Is that
That's probably not where I should be. But I think some of it's like these kickers are just so damn good. We're just gonna try to cause ourselves as much.
Nothing will ever top Trevor Davis fielding a punt in the end zone in Chicago. That is an all-time moment. I was there for that. That is seared in my brain.
What do you think Trevor Davis is doing right now?
Well, Trevor Davis, I remember, was sending videos to the coaches like, I can be your punt returner one summer. That was a big thing.
Right. That's right.
I think there's an aspect of maybe there's so many rule changes, guys just don't know what to do anymore. They just get so
I think
confused.
that's true on kickoffs. I mean, you saw Savion got again in this game on Sunday night, where ball bounces in the landing zone, and then it does roll into the end zone for a touchback, but because it hit the landing zone, ball comes out to the 20 instead of the 35. Like, you can't have those mistakes. Those things are frustrating. But again, punt returns, Romeo Dobbs, I'm all in. I'm also all in on Uncultured Barbarian, a longtime Cheesehead TV viewer and listener, saying, might I suggest Hammer in My Heart by Utopia and Slipping Away by Dave Edmunds for bumper music. Oh, and We Danced by the Hooters. I know my jams. Uncultured, I got to say, you have a long history here at Cheesehead TV of bringing out great musical suggestions. I think the Hooters suggestion is on point here. Definitely. I'm in on that one.
That'll be the one I roll out with. Because that's also the one I had. So that works out.
Wow.
The
Good
other
work.
2 songs that don't have it here. So
I gotta say, now that Trevor Davis's name has gotten brought up to the program, did anybody else remember in April 8th of 2018 when he was arrested for making a joke at a Hawaiian Airlines counter about packing an
I do remember this. Yes.
Holy cow, Next, how are we forgetting about
How did I not remember this?
I haven't forgotten. I remember it specifically, of course. And that's up there with, I'm on vacation on July 4th trying to enjoy my life. And then, Andrew Quarles has to go and get in trouble on July 4th. And then now I got to work. You don't forget these things. Like,
that's true.
These happen. And then they upend your life as a content creator.
Trevor, you can't make those jokes at the airport. Come on, bro.
That's got to be seared into the mind, especially 2 weeks away from the draft. I mean, you got a death wish if that's what you're thinking. Like, I'm gonna make this kind of bad claim at a wide receiver spot when I'm already mid.
Also,
that's a tough deal.
Ruined his vacation, the last one he had, probably.
That's not good way.
I'm assuming he didn't, unless he was coming back. I'm assuming that was the start of the vacation.
He said he was at LAX. So.
Okay, there you go. He ruined his whole vacation to Hawaii. I'm assuming that's where he's flying Hawaii.
I mean, speaking of possibly ruining something, let me give you a list from Soder here of a partial list of backup quarterbacks that have beaten the Packers since 2010. Partial list here. Backup quarterbacks that have led their team to victory against the Green Bay Packers: Drew Stanton, Josh McCown, Case Keenum, Josh Rosen, the game that got Mike McCarthy fired. Tommy DeVito. Yes, I have been traumatized.
Thanks for that pain to leave the show with it.
Well, let's now. I do think Josh Rosen was the even worse. I think he was the starting quarterback for the 20
he might have been, right?
Cardinals. I think that's the worst.
He just played like a backup. Your Honor. Point of order here.
Case Keenum went to an NFC title game. All right. Many people lost to Case Keenum. Many people lost.
Easy on many, but okay, some people did. Yes, correct.
The other ones I got nothing for. I'd love to be able to cover up those other ones. But
don't worry, Soder. The Packers are gonna boat race the Panthers on Sunday.
Let's go.
Thank you. It's about time somebody gives this team the respect they damn well deserve.
You darn right. Number 1 team in the NFC, by the way. In case you didn't know.
Yeah, some people are going to forget about that or try to downplay it because of a tie being in the part of there.
They haven't beat a legit team, said a Lions fan.
Yeah, sorry, don't lose games. That's a part of it. That's just how it rolls.
That's kind of how it happens.
That is really, really well done. Wow.
Incredible. Another great run here, or at least a good one on my part. Great one from you guys. Let's do it again next week after the Packers boat race the Carolina Panthers, because that's what's going to happen. That's Bill Schmid. It's Armen Saryan. It's Aaron Nagler. Thanks for listening to Carry the G Radio.
Come